But I'm pretty sure I heard a bit of VK slander from you, mate, yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you have to fairly criticize him, but I mean, there is no doubt in my head that he's still the best left back we have at the club, and I don't see someone I would rather have starting there. I think Woyo got around 50 minutes there against United. He looked okay, but he's definitely looked more comfortable on the right. Ricky needs to be on the right. I think you can make the argument with Justin. The thing that I don't like with Justin on the left back is that he's right-footed, right? So it's going to be difficult for him to get those crosses in, and I think he's been playing well on the right back. So why would you move him into another position now when he's finally actually finding some form on the right side? So I think it's more a problem with the fact that we don't really have any left backs who are in form at the moment, and that's a different story, right?
Kate, what do you think about JJ on the left? Because of course he played there last season in the Championship, but if you think back to pre-injury, pre-ACL, he was operating really high up on that left side actually for Brendan Rodgers, and I think he did really well at it. Like he was like literally he was so close to the England team that season.
Didn't he also get caught for England?
I don't think he got a cap. Did he get a cap? I think he got. No, he didn't get. But I think he was gonna get called up. Like he was playing that well, and then he got his injury. So we know he can do it, Kate, on the left side.
Yeah, I prefer him on the left. And I think what Duck says is valid in that he's grown into that role over the course of the season because it's been a brand new role. Like I've said before, that when you go to the other side of the pitch and facing some of the balls over the top that JJ often faces, you've got to turn the other way on the opposite side of the pitch. And when you're just not used to doing that, whether you're right-footed or left-footed, it's really difficult against these pretty much elite Premier League footballers every single week in, week out, which is why he kept getting caught out so much. You see him almost turn in slow motion through a lot of the goals that he's been at fault for. I prefer him on the left. I think when Chilwell left, we all felt that we'd gone up a notch, really. We've got the better left back at the club, and he was definitely on the peripheral of the England team. And I think that's where he's learned his craft.
I did just double check, right? He did actually get a cap for England. He got 45 minutes in the Nations League in 2022. I did remember reading that once on The Athletic.
And, wow, 2022.
Yeah. 2022 against Hungary, he got 45 minutes, according to Transfermarkt, as a left midfielder. So, maybe he's our best attacker as well. Put him upfield.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was after the ACL.
That was after the ACL. Yeah, I mean, then again, England did have a period, right, where they were definitely lacking in left side quality. That's obviously not the issue for you guys anymore. You have plenty of quality. I do miss JJ on the left. I in particular remember the Stoke goal in the FA Cup, right? The cut inside, shoot on your right. But I think the current system where our left back is supposed to put in those crosses, it will only complicate things if he needs to try and cut it on his right before he gets that cross in. But then again, Mæhle for the Danish national team, he's a right back. But, we didn't have any good left backs for a period of time before VK came through. And he played on the left. He was able to get some brilliant crosses in despite being right-footed. So you can definitely make it work. And JJ has been proof of that. So, I mean, if it's to force Ricky P into the team, which I'm all for, I'm down to moving JJ to the left.
Do you think VK's done enough good crosses in the season to warrant the argument for including him?
No, I just simply don't. I didn't see a better choice when we only had JJ on the right option. I don't think Woyo, for the few times we've seen him on the left, has been better on the left. I don't think Luke Thomas, by any means, has been better. I don't think Kristiansen has been good enough. In particular, the thing that I've always been advocating for, right, is his offensive capabilities. That's what I've seen, in Copenhagen. I've seen it in Bologna, and he hasn't been able to show it much here in Leicester. His good crosses are few and far in between. He did have a few throughout the season, but certainly not enough to, authoritarily claim the spot, I want to say. And that's also why, I'm open for, if Ricky is able to play 90 minutes, you can move JJ to the left, because I think JJ has definitely been in better form as of late compared to Kristiansen.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that, Kate, maybe this is overused a little bit, but one thing with VK is that, I mean, people say passion, people say effort. I think that's there, like, completely with VK. I think he busts a gut. I don't want to say he's a bad footballer, because we've seen him do stuff, in the past for Denmark, for Bologna, but maybe the Premier League is just a step up. We know it's a step up, but maybe he's just not quite. I don't know. I don't want to say not good enough for the Premier League, but you know what I'm getting at, Kate. He's not been to the same level as he has elsewhere, but the passion and effort is always there with him.
Yeah, passion, effort, and fitness as well. Like the fitness he shows, he's one of the best in the team, up and down, whether it's 89 minutes or 8 minutes. He's always trying to make himself available. I personally just find
and rarely injured. Rarely injured.
Personally find him quite one-dimensional. You know exactly what he's going to do. And he doesn't really cut inside. He hasn't got a right foot. And sometimes you need to go through the middle, because that's where we find a lot of space, because we don't have midfielders pushing through when we're attacking into those positions where JJ would often run into, and so would Chilwell from time to time as well. So I just know that VK's are always going to go round the outside to the byline and try and hook it in. And I just think there's not much more to him than that. And sometimes that can be great because it's exactly what's needed, but sometimes you need a little bit more in the locker for me. But
yeah,
go on. Yeah, I just showed it to another, right? I think it's a general tendency in the squad. We've seen many players have Premier League quality at times. It's just not consistent enough being shown, right? I think VK have had some good games throughout the season. I'm thinking back in particular to the West Ham game we won 3-1. He was brilliant in that game. Was also good in the first game against Tottenham. A huge part of our first goal in the Premier League coming back up as well. So, we can look at all of our players really, and I can point to pretty much any of them, except for maybe Danny Ward. And I'm going to be honest, Vestergaard this season, I can't remember a good game from him either, to be honest. But pretty much every player, like Connor Cody as well against West Ham, was brilliant, clearing the ball off the line. Like almost every player have had their moment. The problem is those moments are too few and far in between. And that leads to these massive draws where we have 5 games where only one player shows the level, but the rest of them, that Premier League quality seems far gone.
Do you think, with relegation, Doc, do you think he will stick around? Or do you think he would maybe go abroad or something like that? Because I can't see a Premier League team coming in for him, mate. So I'm thinking it might be abroad.
I could see a bottom tier Premier League team coming in for him. I could see Wolfsburg as well. They have the former Copenhagen, the guy who sold him from Copenhagen to Leicester. He's there, and he seems to be collecting the Danes. Horas Lev, Jonas Wind, Joachim Mæhle, Andreas Skov Olsen. All of these Danes are coming to Wolfsburg and former Superliga players. And I know PC, the sporting director there, definitely valued him. And I think he would do great things in the Bundesliga, to be honest. I think we saw it a bit with how he did in Bologna. He hasn't worked at his time in Leicester. He's had, few ups compared to how many downs he's had. And it saddens me, right? Because I really do obviously love the guy, but there is no hiding from the fact that his season, just like many other in the team, hasn't been good enough.